Hi, so in this video I want to talk a bit about the chart in the Lucy Letby case. We should all know which chart that is. It's the one showing who was on duty when collapses happened. So I'm going to refer back to my last video that was talking about the update in the Thirlwall inquiry and Karen Rees's evidence. So that video was taken from another video and it's from the Lucy Letby, the Case for Innocence channel. So they're doing all of the Thirlwall inquiry updates, really worth a watch, and they've got other videos as well. So definitely give them a look because they've got a lot of interesting stuff. So in August 2015, Karen Rees becomes head of nursing at the Countess of Chester Hospital. In the same month, Dr. Breary speaks to Aaron Powell, who is the ward manager there, and he asks her to draw up that chart showing who is on the rota basically when collapses happen. And I mean, someone else has probably said it, but this has got to be the weirdest chart you've ever seen, because even though Lucy Letby, you know, she took all of the shifts that were going, you've just got this straight line down the middle, you know, with crosses, and she is in every single slot in her section, whereas the other staff, you know, it's kind of dotted around here and there, and it just looks really, really weird. I mean, it would make sense if she was at substantially more of those incidents, but she's it's a solid block basically. So that actually looks a bit off to me. It looks as if this chart has been constructed, and I was really wondering, with everything that's come out, I mean, especially with Dr. Jayaram changing his story whenever he wants to, Dewey Evans also changing his story whenever he wants to, and Dr. Breary not remembering stuff. I mean, this is all completely weird and it just doesn't add up. And I do wonder if perhaps Aaron Powell was, you know, what information she was given before drawing up the chart, whether she was asked to draw it up in a certain way, you know, were the figures given to her? Did she have to, you know, look in the general records to get those figures, or did, you know, Breary said, look, here are the figures, and hand them to her, and like, okay, now draw up a chart from these figures I have given you? I don't know, but I mean, Dr. Breary with his draw of doom, which no one was ever allowed to look into. I mean, you know, this sounds a bit like Bluebeard, basically. But that was just what I was wondering. Now, with the Thirlwall inquiry, what I've noticed is that certainly a lot of the nurses that are giving evidence, they do seem to be putting in quite a good word for Lucy Letby, and then it kind of ends up, well, didn't you spot anything? Shouldn't you have spotted something? and, you know, we're getting a lot of, well, with hindsight, you know, maybe I made a mistake and I'm very sorry. So it's like they're really getting beaten down to admit a fault. And it seems to be for the sake of admitting a fault. Karen Rees, she has admitted fault in that in the part 2 from Lucy Letby, the case for innocence. So on Friday it was the part 1. Today, on Thursday, sorry, it was the part 1. Today I see there's a part 2, and she is apologising for not noticing that something was untoward, but still she was saying, look, I was asking for evidence. No one was giving me information, no one was giving me evidence. If Jayaram and Breary were so concerned, why didn't they do something at the time? Which is a completely fair point, but it does seem to be that the general tenet of the inquiry, obviously it's predicated on Lucy Letby actually being guilty as convicted. That is the purpose of the inquiry. So I guess they would be looking at anything which might point to, well, how can we stop another Lucy Letby, you know, doing the same thing again? So that is the road they're going down. But it is a pattern I've noticed that they really are beating people down. I'm putting it a bit strongly, but they are trying to close each session with, well, is there anything you should have noticed? You should have noticed something. You know, what will you do next time? What should you have done before? So it is kind of based on the, you didn't do enough, you didn't notice enough, you didn't stop this happening. Yeah, so that wraps that up for now. Please like, subscribe, hope to see you in the next video.